We'll start in the heavyweight division, where Jailton Almeida has finally spoken after parting ways with the UFC. Not long ago, Almeida looked like a serious future contender. His grappling dominance and early finishes had people talking about potential title implications down the line, but momentum in MMA is fragile. After being stopped by Curtis Blades in a high-profile matchup, Almeida struggled to regain consistent traction. He did bounce back with quick victories over Alexander Romanov and Sergey Spivak.
Fala, minha galera, tudo bem com vocês? Galera, venho aqui agradecer a todos vocês que torcem por mim, que vibram comigo e que me acompanharam na minha trajetória no UFC, né? Foram 11 lutas, 4 performances da noite e me sinto muito realizado de fazer parte dessa organização, né? Agradecer a todo o staff do UFC, a toda a galera que me ajudou, né? Me deu aquele suporte lá, todos educados, me trataram muito bem. Então, e não é essas duas derrotas que eu me defini a pessoa que eu sou, né? Esse cara dedicado, focado, determinado, esse cara humilde que eu sou, que eu sempre fui. Então, é hora de pensar novos desafios.
Rising prospect Bo Nickal appears to have secured the fight he's been demanding. Nickal has been openly calling out former title challenger Colby Covington, and the tension between the two escalated dramatically during a recent press event where they exchanged sharp words in front of cameras. What started as verbal sparring quickly turned into a full-blown rivalry online. Nickal kept pushing, questioning Covington's willingness to face younger competition. Nickal even posted a message showing respect for Covington's competitive spirit while hinting that the fight is locked in. If this matchup materializes, it would be a classic clash of eras, a decorated veteran against one of the sport's most hyped newcomers. Meanwhile, crossover star Jake Paul is dealing with serious health setbacks after suffering a broken jaw during a sparring session with heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua late last year. The injury required surgery to insert metal plates into his jaw, but complications followed when the hardware began loosening. According to Paul, the problem came from returning to activity too soon.
Got out of my emergency jaw surgery, having my breakfast here in the hospital. Basically, I was at the Olympics and the plates and screws that they put in my mouth all started to come loose. One of the little screws came out of my mouth. I had to spit it out, and they were super worried about getting it infected, so we had to pull them out right away because essentially it was just this open wound sitting there in my mouth where there's food and bacteria. So it turns out, kids, that if you don't listen to your doctors when they tell you not to do anything for 2 months and you do a bunch of things, the screws and plates will come out of your bone. Don't be a dumbass like
Khamzat Chimaev has undergone a noticeable personal evolution over the past couple of years. Fans began to notice he seemed calmer, more composed, and less reckless outside the cage. Speculation ranged from burnout to loss of motivation, but his longtime coach offered a much more human explanation. The turning point, according to the coach, was fatherhood, particularly when Chimaev's young son faced a medical procedure. That experience reportedly reshaped his priorities.
We could clearly see the biggest change in Khamzat as a more mature. It was during the fight week with the fight with Robert Whittaker. That was when everybody was like, oh, he's not aggressive anymore. He's wearing glasses. He's too calm. Maybe he's not hungry anymore. Maybe he doesn't want it anymore. Maybe he lost the aggression. You know, when people was asking me, my answer was simple because I was already noticed this since maybe, let's say, 1.5, 2 years before that, slowly. But that specific year was when everything just switched because his son born 1 year before, and right before that fight, his son needed to do a surgery. You know, and he said that in the interview. No, I have to go to Sweden because my son gonna have a surgery there. And I knew that everything was okay with him, but the people that didn't follow that was even worried. You know, and they was asking me. And I was saying, before, he had this animal inside of him that controls him. Now, he's mature enough to still have that monster inside him, but he can control that. He doesn't need to keep unleashing 24/7. Perfect. Now he knows exactly when is the moment to unleash this animal. And you guys gonna see, and then he go fight Robert Whittaker and everybody saw.
That maturity was evident in his dominant performance against Robert Whittaker, where he combined aggression with patience. Chimaev has also hinted that he's not done chasing history. In recent interviews, he suggested he could move up in weight to pursue championships in multiple divisions.
So 205, is that something that I know you were calling out Pereira. He ignored that, right? There was never any response?
No, never response, but so we'll see if anyone else. I won't just become a double champ. And then I can go back to my weight class or stay there or go out more up. Try. I know that guys were trying to go out from the UFC like undefeated this and that. I don't care. Just want to make some thing stuff.
How old are you now, Khamzat?
31.
31. So you got a lot.
In an interesting gym story, a young training partner from Chimaev's camp claimed he managed to submit former champion Sean Strickland during intense sparring.
Go ahead.
I want to say 1 week ago we were at PI and we go to extreme sparrings and this guy submit Sean Strickland.
Oh!
Hey.
How did you submit him?
Yeah.
We were sparring with Sean Strickland. He asked me and Baisangur. Baisangur went with him 3 rounds and he made him tired. And then he says, come on you. And I went, take him down and submit him. Rear naked choke.
UFC president Dana White has launched a new boxing venture, immediately putting him on a collision course with longtime promoter Eddie Hearn. The rivalry escalated when White's organization secured a deal with welterweight contender Conor Benn, a fighter who had been closely associated with Hearn for most of his career. The signing stunned the boxing community. Benn had recently scored a major victory over Chris Eubank Jr., boosting his profile significantly. Hearn publicly admitted he was shocked and disappointed, saying he believed their working relationship and loyalty would keep Benn under his promotional banner. Instead, the move signals that White's boxing ambitions are serious and potentially disruptive. Back in MMA, Sean Strickland has been making headlines yet again, this time for speaking bluntly about fighter pay. Ahead of his upcoming bout with Anthony Hernandez, Strickland questioned whether new broadcast deals actually translate into better compensation for athletes. In typical Strickland fashion, he didn't sugarcoat anything.
Did you see the new bonuses announced with the Paramount Plus deal, or?
No, bonuses. No one's getting paid more. Well, what's the new bonus? 150? The UFC is, as far as the pay scale, there is no, you compare it to any other sporting event, the UFC is the most up. If you compare it to like pay versus athletes versus what they're making, there is no argument there. It's not fair. It's predatory. There is no argument there. Now we're a bunch of idiots who take our clothes off and go fight for shorten our lives for this. So like, do we deserve better? I don't know. There's no argument here. The UFC is not it's predatory. Well, I would just like it to match any other sporting event. Any other sporting event on how much they're making, we should get paid. Like what I'm saying is like, let's say the NFL they give 70% of the profits to the, I'm making this up, profits to the players. The UFC should do the same, but it won't be as predatory. But again, we take our clothes off and get hit in the head like assholes, so maybe we deserve this. You say no to a fight, well guess what? They're gonna go find some guy in some sand pit, they'll do it for 5-5. That's why you're slowly gonna see the American roster die, because it's like outsourced by like people that, what are they signing guys, 10-10? I mean, how much is rent in Vegas? Like 2,000, 1,600, 1,400. So it's like, once you pay your managers, your taxes, like how the f are you supposed to live on that? Like, well, you could fight 4 times a year. Okay, so you go 3-1. Like no, you'll make more money at Walmart, dude, if you're being a Stein. But it's what the UFC wants, man. It's all just like corporate predatory. That's how it goes, dude. Why do I want to go compete with a Brazilian where he could go make money and live pretty nicely to where you can't do